I'm ugly, what's happening, how do I look, what does it look like, I'm like, why would someone do this to me? No one's ever gonna marry me. Like, I'm finished. Like, I've been destroyed. So that day, I remember that day clearly. I woke up, I had a shift. I was working at Victoria's Secrets in Stratford Westfield. So as I got off the bus, I was on the phone to my boyfriend at the time. On the opposite side of me, a black figure in a someone in a big black jacket, black trousers, black shoes, and then the person was wearing a niqab. And I remember being on the phone, like literally on the phone here, and I was talking to my ex, and then as I turned, I remember seeing this figure, and it just took me a couple of seconds. The figure was this cold stare, this cold stare. All I feel is a big a massive splash, and I'm like, oh my God, and I start screaming off the top of my lungs. I started to feel like something like just burning and eating at my skin, and just, I was hot, I was sweaty, it stunk. Like there was such a strong chemical, oh my gosh, like I felt like my nose was literally gonna just disintegrate. This is acid. Someone has thrown acid at me, and I sprinted. I think that's the fastest I've ever ran. I was shaking, I was screaming. I literally thought someone was trying to kill me. And as I got to my door, literally banging on my door. And I remember my mum opening the door, and then my godmother saw me and she was like, Naomi, up the stairs now, immediately, quickly. You know, she's literally got the throwing cold water on my face, and we don't even realise that the thing has basically been burning into my blouse, burning into my leggings. I'm talking gibberish, I'm screaming, I'm shouting, I'm shaking. I'm like, why would someone do this to me? I'm ugly, what's happening, how do I look, what does it look like? I'm shouting at my cousin Sarah, like, am I ugly, just tell me the truth, am I ugly, tell me the truth. No one really knew what to say, and I've looked into the mirror for the first time, and my face was literally blue, purple and pink, and I just had mucus, tons of mucus just running down my face, and the police have come in and they're just like, what happened? And they're like, we've never seen anything like this before. That was very, very tough to hear. The ambulance has come, and I told my godmother to come into the ambulance because I don't want my mum to. As I get to Whitechapel Hospital, I'm basically being pulled on the bed, and I'm having nurses and doctors literally poking at me. By this time, they've taken me into a room, which is like an industrial shower, and they've wheeled me in, and then they've got this massive shower that's freezing cold, ice cold, and they've put me under, and they're washing me. My skin is still burning, and they're washing the acid off with this massive shower. And I'm literally screaming at the top of my lungs, the pain of the burn. and then the pain of the freezing water was just, it was just too much for me to handle. As I've seen the burns, I'm in hospital, the burns have kind of gone hard. So I'm basically told I'm going to have surgery, and they're going to basically peel off the dry, burnt skin. And basically I was sat down and told that I'm basically never going to look the same again. I'm not going to look like Naomi ever again. I was like, no one's ever going to marry me. Like, I'm finished. Like, I've been destroyed. No one's ever going to marry me. No one's ever going to want to be with me.
Can you just talk about how you met your attacker?
So I met Mary in St. Angela's Ursuline School. I would say the friendship was very turbulent. So there's times where we would have like phone conversations late at night. I would literally be speaking to her probably like for hours, 2-3 hours the day before. And the next day I would come to school and I would, hi Mary. And she would give me the most coldest stare I think I've ever experienced in my life. And the more I ignored her, the more I hung out with other friends, the more cold and kind of angry she would become. The most randomest day for my boyfriend at the time to call me and be like, someone's basically text me saying that you're seeing someone else. And I was just like, okay, first of all, I'm not sleeping with other men. Prior to my knowledge, Mary can be weird, but to take that step forward and do things like that, that wasn't the kind of person I saw her as. So when my ex-boyfriend finally revealed to me who it was, I was boiling. Like, I was boiling with rage and boiling with anger. So I said, okay, I'm going to calm down and I'm going to call her. And she was just very mean. She was like, I don't care. You're just trying to feel sorry for yourself. I'm not here to feel sorry for you. She was so angry. She wanted to do this and that. She was going to fight me. I just told her that you have to take responsibility for how you act towards me and what comes out of your mouth. And obviously from now on, I'll be very careful of what I say to you. And she apologized. She was like, she's sorry, that she's missed me, how have I been, and that she didn't really mean, what she said. She was just angry. Fast forward to me having my surgeries, leaving hospital, I'd lost my eyelid on my right eye. And, I was just in a lot of pain. I had a raw leg where I just had my skin grafts, removed to put skin on my face and my other burns. And I had a surprise birthday party, which was thrown by my boyfriend at the time. But I remember being overwhelmed and just seeing all my family and friends there, friends from my workplace and some of my friends from school and everything. And I was just like, oh, everyone's here. So I felt really loved. And then Mary had arrived. I remember she came and I was sitting down in a chair and she sat beside me and then she had her head in her hands and she started crying. So I remember rubbing her back, telling her, do you know what, I'll be fine. This will blow over. Give me a couple of months and I'll be back to good. I'll be back in a better place. I was like, I don't want you guys to worry about me. I was like, stop crying. Like, it's okay. At least I'm alive.
How did you end up finding out that it was her that did it?
And when my story got to the press, it had to be taken on by the homicide team, which is Scotland Yard, because it was a serious case. They found the footage of her from Stratford following me to Barking Station. And basically the grey bag she was carrying on the CCTV, was basically found in her house. That's how they found out it was her that did it. And the police said, she basically followed you from work all the way home and doused you with sulfuric acid in attempts to basically maim and disfigure you. For me, the trial, I saw a complete different side to her. somebody, it was almost like someone that I had never met before. It was someone like, it was like someone that I didn't even know speaking. She accused me of basically throwing acid on myself to basically look to be like Katie Piper, because she had gained success after her incident. So basically, I was inspired by her story, and it was said that I did the same to myself to garner fame, which is so stupid. What, young girl would throw acid on herself just for sympathy or fame. She was sentenced for, I think, basically like, is it 12 years and she had to do 6? She's been released now last year. Yeah.
What did you feel like at that point?
I don't hate her. There's probably, I have forgiven her to a certain extent, but it hasn't been easy for me to deal with what's happened emotionally and physically. I've managed to pull the positive out of this experience and continue to strive and continue to heal and recover every day, and to become a better and wiser person every day, and to be more kinder and more loving to myself. And I'm proud of who I am today, and I'm proud that, I'm this woman that has overcome, such adversity and tragedy and sorrow and loss and betrayal. And I thank God for allowing me to still have a kind and soft heart.
I was just a foot soldier, I was just a foot soldier. I wasn't nowhere up in the ranking. But again, I was always putting myself in those situations. I was always putting myself in danger. Led me down the path of having guns and selling drugs and doing crime. I remember the first time I saw someone get stabbed, and it was like, didn't even faze me.